Oh man, you ever just getting ready to go live and feel like you have to belch, and then it comes out just before you go live while the countdown's going? It's like that's just what happened to me. What's up, people? How are you? Yeah, I went live yesterday, right? With trying to do something inside of uh, a spreadsheet, right, with Google Sheets. And I was like, you know what? Sure, there are certain things that you can't do in Google Sheets that you can do with an Excel spreadsheet. But the fact that Google Sheets was free, it's basically free and you can do all the basic functions with it. I'm like, I'm going to really make a conscious decision to use it. So that's what I did to build that calculator I was building online when I was with you guys yesterday. Today, I have not a conference, but a actual class coming up at 8 o'clock, right? So I'm going to be live on a webinar at 8 o'clock, and you can go there. Let me do the ticker thing. Show it. Boom. Register free for the class. Fivefigureclass.com. You can do that. If you can't come tonight, you can get the replay. Great. Here's the killer though, is that I did all the slides for the class. These are the slides. Yeah, I did them all in Google Slides. So yes, I know I'm not the first to use Google Slides. I've used it a couple of times before, but literally now I'm definitely, I think, going 100 with Google Slides now, as opposed to using anything else. I mean, now here's the reason why. All right. The reason why is basically we are in such a environment now. The thing I didn't like back in the day when I was on stage, and live was, you could use some nice transitions that probably or weren't in here. There are transitions in here, but their transitions are pretty standard, basic, fly in, fly out kind of thing. So I didn't like that. I always like to put some zings in the transitions. But now that you're online, you can't really get the same vibe of transitions that you could before, right? So what ends up happening is you're pretty much going to be in a static mode. And if you try to do transitions, they're not going to look right simply because some people are at slower speeds. Sometimes the your web is not, or your internet connection is not at its peak and prime. And so that's the number one reason I used to use, my Keynote versus or PowerPoint. I long gave up PowerPoint, but I used to use Keynote. And recently, I mean, seriously, I can do all the things I need to do in this slides versus using, Keynote. I can do all of that. I think it really has made me dumb down my slides, which are actually better for the performance or the teaching online versus when you're on stage, right? So just a couple of things to think about in the differences. Yeah. So let's do this. So if I'm looking at these slides, hold on. Like I used to put partial sentences on a slide. Now I kind of put the entire sentence on the slide because before I didn't want. I think if you're a presenter, and especially if you're a keynote presenter, if you're doing the keynote, people really should be watching you more so than watching your slides. If you put too much words on the slides, then people will start reading the words. However, when you're in this environment online, people are going to read the words anyway because they can't do anything else. They're sitting there in front of their screen. So I've put more words on the slides now, dumbing it down, right? Because I don't have to have all these transitions. I don't have to have the words flying in or any of that kind of stuff. I literally can just do the words on the slides and don't worry about it taking attention away from me on stage as a speaker, because I'm not even on stage anymore. And a lot of us are doing these on Zoom calls, right? And when you get it on a Zoom call, you're not even going to see this, what you're seeing with me right now. It's going to be more like this, right? And so your people's attention is not even on the speaker like it used to be. They're on the actual screen and the slides. That's the difference of today's environment, right? So definitely, look, if you are still in PowerPoint mode, and that's another thing too, on a lot of these, like on Zoom, and if you're on a Mac, sometimes it just doesn't render right, especially if you have multiple screens. If you have multiple screens, right, the secondary screen ends up playing your timer and stuff, and the primary screen ends up showing your slides, and you really don't know where you are. Sometimes that happens, right? That definitely happens with me on not Zoom, but yeah, it does happen to me on Zoom. It definitely happens to me on Webinar Jam, and sometimes it happens to me here on StreamYard, right? But anytime I do a PowerPoint slide in Google Slides, it runs in the actual browser, right? So when you do your present mode, it's actually inside of a browser, and I can always see that browser window. Let me move this over. I'm talking about doing that, and then I just did it, and I didn't have it right. All right, so when I put it in present mode, see, you got full screen there, and if I go out from it, you get the entire full screen mode, right? And everything works just like it's supposed to. So I'm digging that. I really do dig that. And it works on all the platforms this exact same way. It doesn't take over both of my screens because it's only running inside of the browser mode, So that's one of the other things that I'm digging about using this. And then I guess finally, the ability to share it, you just hit the share button and you get a link. You can change it so you can share it with everybody. So this is inside of my organization, Third Power. But if I say anyone with the link, then anybody with that link gets to see the actual slides, which, okay, that's not a big deal, right? However, what makes it a big deal is that when you make updates to the slides, right? So if I copy this link, I send the link out to people when they say, oh, we want your slides, we want your slides. When you make an update to the slides, it automatically is an update for them. So if all you got to do is say, hey, I made an update, I added some new content, and they can go out there and look at the content versus you having to reshare it, resend them the links or any of that. You don't have to save it. It's kind of cool, right? So think about using slides not just as a slide, that's slide presentation, but you can actually use it to deliver content, different kind of content. So what do I mean? I can put videos into my slides, right? And then they get an update on the video. One of the things I like to do, let me see if I can find it. I know I did one, is I will do these inside of the slide. It looks like a video, but it's not a video. It's just a GIF. So I'll record a GIF and embed it into the slide so that it runs inside of the slide, and I don't have to be connected to the internet necessarily. Okay, well, you do have to be connected to the internet, but if I'm on a Zoom call and I want to go out to the internet and get another, window while I'm doing a presentation, that can be a little cumbersome because oftentimes you have to stop one screen share, start another screen share, blah, blah. You get it, right? You get it. I hope you get it. All right. So that's another thing you can actually do with this. And you see, once I do the embed, it's just on a loop, right? So as long as I talk over this slide, it's still moving. I can talk and I don't have to demonstrate. That's pretty cool. All right. So that's another thing that I'm doing with this. So don't just limit yourself in thinking to the slide, using it just as a slide. It's actually a way to present different things. You can embed, let's see, what can you embed? Image, of course, photos. You got your text box, audio. You can put audio in there, the videos, right? Tables, charts, diagrams, all that good stuff. You're creating it inside of here. And if you share that with people, it will automatically update. I like that. I really do like that. So these are the reasons. It's not rocket science. It's just a couple of reasons why I've literally dumped my Keynote and PowerPoint, and I am 100 on Google Slides. And I mean 100 because of the last maybe 10 online presentations. It's like if I go to my slides home here, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. I'm doing these all in slides. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And that's from 2018. That was the first time I tried slides. So you can see I didn't even bother with it until lately, right? And I'm putting together this course, and a lot of the things that are inside the course, I'm just putting in a slide deck, and then I'll pull it into the training part and then make that slide deck, of course, the training. The cool thing about that is if I update the training, I don't have to, do anything. It'll automatically push out to the host site where my training will be. It's a couple of cool shortcuts. So at any rate, there you go. That's why I've dumped the old school slide deck creation of PowerPoint, and I am now 100 using Google Slides. All right. Talk to you later. Hey, again, if you are not doing anything at the top of the hour, go over and go over there. Boom. Go over there, fivefigureclass.com, register, and come check me out. Those slides I just showed you, I'm going to be presenting in about 40 minutes. I'll see you there. Peace.